Welcome to another episode of Reviewing Your Designs. If you don't know what I'm talking about, time to time I take a look at your works and you can send them to backmydesign@gmail.com. There I pick some of your works and I give you my comments, I give you my feedbacks. Before jumping into today's episode, I want to announce the winners of the giveaway. In this video, the gift guide from Car Designer, I mentioned that there will be a giveaway, and Christian and we picked 6 winners already. And Christian is the author of this book, this amazing book, Explorer, and the winners got the copy of it directly from him. Here are the names of the winners. If your name is not there, don't worry, you can still order this amazing book by Christian. It's super creative, super inspiring for me. I mentioned this book many times in this channel, so you can take a look at the details in the description. And congrats to all the winners, and thank you everyone who participated. Thank you everyone who is watching the channel always, who is subscribed. If not, subscribe to the channel. Anyway, let's jump into today's review session. This first one is pretty amazing because the owner of this drawing is 6 years old. Kiefer sent me this sketch. His mom actually sent me this sketch. I hope I pronounced the name correct, Kiefer. Thank you very much for the sketch because it really impressed me. I was not able to sketch like that when I was 6 years old, so I really like the proportions and the stance of the car. It reminds me Audi Evo's concept. It's pretty cool car, I really like it. But if to give to my feedback, I can say maybe you can take care of the lines a little bit more to draw more clean lines. You can practice it, and I'm pretty sure by time you will make it happen. Like, I didn't even need to touch the proportions of the car or anything. Like, I also like the design. It's very pure, minimal design and very nice cut line in the middle, like dividing the car in half. And I can imagine the cockpit, the glass area in a different color. And in your mind, I guess it's like a very clean, minimal surfaces with very metallic color. I think it would look very cool. And I think you thought about it while drawing, because even the lines are like, even if there are a lot of lines, the car is super clean and modern, I can imagine. So I just wanted to go to next step, and I added some colors on Photoshop. I made a digital sketch over it. And again, like without changing proportions, without changing the design even, I just made this car, and I think it looks pretty cool. Also, I really like this 4-spoke wheel design, so I would say congrats. And if you are curious, the next 30 seconds will be the time lapse of this drawing on Photoshop. And if you want to learn Photoshop, if you don't know digital drawing, you can check out my online courses at berkaplan.com. The next sketch by him is this one. I like the previous one more, but I also wanted to comment on this because it is still not bad. For 6 years old, I think it's pretty good. The only comment would be on this one, proportions are a little bit too compact. The wheels are too close to each other. So I wanted to push the wheels a little bit further, and I wanted to add a bit of overhang to the car. And then the next thing was cleaning the lines. Like, rather than having the same lines over and over again when they don't match each other, it might happen because of you are rushing too much while drawing. So take your time, keep calm and warm up first, and then keep calm and try to make the lines a bit more clean. Like, rather than using your fingers, try to use your shoulder and make like longer lines, and it will lead to more clean lines, and it will lead to a cleaner sketch, which will represent the idea in a better way, in a more direct way. Here we can see the direct comparison from the original sketch to what I did. And as you see, again, I didn't want to change the design much. I really like this side fins on the side of the car. Maybe you had in mind something like Ferrari Testarossa, I'm not sure, but I really like it. So I wanted to keep the original design as much as possible. Thank you for sending your works. Amazing job. Just keep on pushing, keep on sketching, and I think you should definitely do something related to design in your career. Like, 6 years old and this quality, this much passion, very good. Congrats. The next sketch is from Kevin. Kevin Roth sent me this one. I like how dynamic it feels. Like, when I see the sketch, I feel this dynamism because I feel a bit exaggerated perspective that like the front wheel is close to us, the rear wheel is getting smaller on the back. I can imagine what you had in your mind, and exaggerated proportions and perspective is pretty cool, but it's also dangerous. So the first thing I do on this type of sketches is to flip the paper. In real life, you can just hold the paper from the other side and put it on the light, and I say it on all my videos. and you can see your mistakes in a better way. And in digital world, I just flipped it and I can see still fine. I see the potential, but I wanted to play with proportions, actually with perspective more. So I wanted to tilt the nose a little bit up rather than too much following, like going down on the page. I wanted to tilt it up a little bit, push it up. And I also wanted to add a little bit of volume on the greenhouse, on the roof line, let's say. So the car has a bit more volume, it looks a bit more stronger. Also the rear wheel, I wanted to make the ellipse a little bit more wider. This way we see it a little bit more because I think it fits better to this perspective. And the rest is just cleaning the sketch and changing a little bit of the proportions, but I didn't need to do much, honestly. Also in your sketch, you use different line thickness, which is a very important thing to emphasize the lines, emphasize the parts of the car you want to show on the sketch. So when I resketching, I also did the same trick, like using some thicker lines and thinner lines to show which parts are more important, which parts I want to show to the audience. And after this stage, I decided to even change perspective a bit more because I felt like it's still going too much down on the far edge of the car. So I just pushed the front a little bit more straight line and even to the different angle. And I think it looks better now in the perspective. The car stands better on the road, I can say. And when I flip back the image, we can see the original comparison from original sketch to what I did. And as you see, when I change the perspective lines a little bit, the car looks more confident and it makes also the sketch look more confident. And in your sketch, I see many research lines, let's say. So you were searching for the idea, you were structuring your sketch, which is pretty cool. But if you want to clean it, you can always put in another new blank sheet of paper and then you sketch over your own sketch by using it for reference. And you can clean your sketch for the next step. But I quite like your work. Good job. And let's see the next one. This sketch is sent by Patrick. Patrick is 17 years old and I can see it's pretty cool. Like I see the proportions and perspective are almost there. It's nice and it's kind of like a tricky perspective, so I can understand. But what I like most about your sketch is you push the idea. Like you try different things. Like in the front, I see something like a butterfly, like interesting design. It can also be pushed through like a Lexus or something. And you tried different things on the car rather than drawing an existing car, which is good, which should be the always idea for a designer, like trying new things and experimenting with new ideas. So for the first thing, again, I just flipped your sketch to see these mistakes in a better way. And on the perspective, I see that on the front of the car and the side of the car doesn't work well. For this kind of things, to be confident with the basics of car design sketching like perspective, proportions, line quality, line weight, and creativity, you can check out my online course in my website, berkaplan.com. I cover all these topics to give you confidence, and also there are practice files to get better and better by time. The first thing after flipping the image was marking the perspective in a different way. Your perspective was going a little bit low, like the lines were going too parallel to ground, let's say. So I again lift the front up. It's kind of similar to the previous sketch actually. And I also changed the wheels, fixed the wheels with this new perspective. Then I started to refresh the sketch and I was taking care of your design also. I wanted to go a little bit more minimal because, for example, on the side of your sketch, there are a bit too many lines and I'm a bit confused like which ones are for guidelines like to help yourself and which ones are the real character lines of the car. So I wanted to go a little bit more minimal, a little bit more simpler there. But for the front, I tried to keep your original design on this interesting shape on the front. And then I just cleaned the lines and again use the line weight, which is using different thicknesses of the line to emphasize different parts of the car, and very simple shading over it. And we can see the direct comparison here. As you see on the original sketch, the front is kind of getting too close to the floor. It's a little bit awkward there, so I fixed that part. But overall, I think it's pretty close to like, it's coming there. You're getting there, so keep on practicing and keep on pushing. And never lose this creativity, never lose this trying new things and be brave about it. Thanks for sending your sketch. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you are new to the channel and if you want to talk more about car design. And it is always important to see also others' mistakes. Like if I don't select your sketch to review, there might be similar mistakes on another review sessions and you can watch these videos here. Some of the previous episodes, you can click and watch them. Thanks for being here and see you in the next video.